In this video, I will be talking about the human resource department for the company named Google. I've done research about Google human resources management that is related to the job, and I decided that this video will cover more the human resource planning, recruitment and selection, and also it will deal about the orientation, training and development. These two parts of human resource management are linked to the chapter 4 and 5 to the books that we are currently using for our human resources course. So what is Google? Basically, Google is a technology company specialized in internet services and products. Google has more than 100,000 full-time employees, a number that has been recorded in 2015. And managing this staff in place is one of the most important parts of Google management, even their priority. Management and satisfying employees is not an easy task, but Google does it in such an awesome manner that they are the best company to work for. Human resource planning is a process that a company needs to do to make sure that the people required to run a company and make it profitable will be used in the most effective way where and when they're needed. So this process is done to help the organization reach their goals. Recruitment is a process that is done to encourage people to apply for existing job or even future opening jobs, and selection is the process to obtain information to after that hire and make the selection of who's going to be the new Google employee. Google's human resource management use their trend analysis and scenario analysis for forecasting. Trend analysis is a quantitative technique and scenario analysis a qualitative one. They are respectively techniques that allow Google to predict possible human resources demand and predict demand for every scenario after analyzing the results. Google uses a combination of both quantitative and qualitative techniques for forecasting. Also, Google tends to identify the surplus or shortage of employees. The results of this identification is included in the human resource planning as a forecasted surplus or shortage of human resources. They also try to balance supply and demand. Even though the online services are increasing, Google doesn't have many problems about balancing supply and demand and doesn't really need to increase the number of employees they have. But they still have to balance the human resource demand and supply in production and distributions of electronics from consumers such as Nexus and other one. The combination of these three approaches allows Google to analyze their needs and make their plan about human resource management. When it comes to recruitment, Google uses some source to make sure its human resources is effective and adequate. They use both internal and external sources. For internal sources, Google uses most of the time promotions, transfers, and trainees, and educational institutions and job advertisement are used as external sources. These sources will lead a company to use direct and indirect methods of recruitment. For Google, the indirect methods are the more important. They use advertisement on their website and even use some pop-ups that serve as interview for potential employees. As you can see on this picture, there's someone who was doing a research on Google, and Google sent a pop-up saying that you're speaking our language up for a challenge. So this person had the choice to play the challenge or not, and it was revealed later that these kind of pop-ups is like test people to know if there could be potential Google employees. Even if the indirect approach is more used than the direct one, Google still uses direct methods with contacts with interns and future employment in academic institutions. The combination of these sources and methods is the perfect mix to satisfy Google's human resource needs. There's something that may surprise a lot of you. That's Google doesn't care about where you went to college or university when they are selecting people. Don't care if you went to Harvard or not. You can have gone to St. Lawrence and be picked to work for Google, and someone from Harvard will not be. In fact, they prefer applicants that are smart, creative, that has drive of excellence, and sort of alignment with organization So these criterion will fit the organizing goals of innovation. So now let's move on to orientation, training, and development. For Google, orientation, training, and development are important to make sure that all the employees have all the required skills with computers. Training is the process of acquiring skills and abilities in order to perform the job. To know how they will train their employees, Google uses a needs analysis where they can observe what are the required skills and abilities to perform the job in order to have an efficient and productive workforce. Most of the time, Google will use an on-the-job training program because they think it's a better way for people to learn how to do it. In fact, Google Human Resource Director Lian Hornsey said during the Human Resource Director Summit that the vast majority of people learn through on-the-job learning. Training courses are only a tiny piece of what we do. So yes, they indeed use courses to train their employees, but not a lot. They also use discussion and simulations to prepare the trainees, and discussions are used to maintain a good communication between the employees and between everyone in the company. Through analyzing and coaching, Google's human resource management can easily identify career opportunities for their employees. They are also doing annual appraisals that are used to give the employees information about possible career opportunities. Google wants their employees to maximize their career choices and opportunities so they can gain experience and develop themselves. They also want their employees to really know who they are and find themselves. They use to develop employees' knowledge about who they are, but also about the world. This will make them realize even more things. In order to develop and make the employees comfortable at work, Google has some installations and benefits such as free gym memberships, pool tables, and family care. This will make the employees feel at home and they will be happier, more focused, and oriented than with any other company. As you can see here, it's a place where they can play pool. Also here, and also play another place that can play pool, a place that can relax while working, and this is a place, like they said, discussion. They're helping each other, so they're gaining more knowledge. They're also training themselves, and they're having fun while working. Finally, orientation is to familiarize new employees with the organization, the job, and the workforce. To do so, Google used their discussions training program to make sure that all the employees are oriented with the organization's goals and direction. They take care of their employees and want to make sure they all know what the company wants and where they are going, so they will all be on the same page. So, all in all, Google is a company that really care about the development and career opportunities of their employees. They also want to make sure that they all have the needed requirements to do the job. They are doing efficient selection process and an effective training program to ensure that they have the right people with the right skills at the right job at the right time. So Google is a very open-minded company when it comes to selection of new employees, and that led them to have a diverse and innovative workforce. So this is why Google is one of the best company to work for.